It's time for Mayor Monday. This morning we're headed across the Columbia River to check in with one of our area's biggest cities.
From public safety issues to a major bridge replacement, the city of Vancouver dealing with some big ongoing projects right now. And joining us live with some updates for that community is Vancouver Mayor Anne McEnerny-Ogle. Good morning, Mayor. How are you?
Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Emily. Yep. All sorts of updates. Of course, as you know, the state of Washington, our legislature is already done. We've taken care of everything. So we're just hoping that Oregon gets back to the table and continues working on this. You got a very strong message there for all those potential employers that Oregon is open for business and they're ready to build that modern, reliable, safe transportation called the I-5 bridge. And hopefully it's a bridge that comes sooner rather than the earthquake. So we're looking at new shoulders to reduce congestion and safety, a dedicated space for C-Trans express buses and all of the MAX work, but also for walking and biking. And we're just hoping that the Oregon legislature, the lawmakers, match our $1 billion. We were happy to see that everyone believes the bridge needs to be rebuilt. They just need to figure out a way to fund it.
Well, you're talking about $1 billion from the Washington state side. Are you looking for the same amount from
Yes.
Oregon? And then how much will the bridge cost total?
Well, you and I know that with all of every time we delay something, the cost goes up. Yes, the federal government is looking at Oregon to put their $1 billion in, and then tolling is part of that package. And even though your governor put a pause on a type of tolling, this bridge tolling is a whole separate system. But then the federal government is the third leg to that stool. And so there are major pots of money back in Washington, D.C. ready to fund this bridge. So I know the team is looking at about $6.3 billion, but we don't want to delay it because every delay means additional funding. So we're going to work on our side of the river. We hope Oregon works on their side of the river to keep on this timeline and get that federal money before it goes to another state.
Are you concerned at all? Because this is not the first time that we've, been in discussions about updating the bridge only to see all of this back and forth kind of fall through. Are we past a point now where we would be, back to the drawing table? Do you think that this is going to move forward?
Emily, my stomach is in knots. We know that we can lose this bridge and we won't get a third try. If the two states can't get their act together at two different times, there won't be a third try until this bridge goes down. And then the federal government will make all of the decisions and not involve us in the design or anything. So no, we are not at a point of certainty right now. We all know the design isn't done, but all of these steps need to start falling into place immediately and before summertime.
Yeah, last thing on this before we move on to something else, but this side of the river, there's been a lot of talk about tolling. It's a big issue. What is the tolling situation on the Washington side? Are you going to be instituting tolls from that end?
No, Ken, we pay for our transportation very differently than how Oregon funds the paved road construction and maintenance on your side. So the tolling that we're talking about on the I-5 bridge pays for the construction of the bridge. It pays for the debt on the bridge. It doesn't pay for additional tolling projects anywhere else in the region or in the state. Two very different systems. And as I said, we pay for our road construction, our freeway, and everything else through our sales tax that Oregon doesn't have.
Right. So lots to still be ironed out here on bridge plans, one thing that we'll be following very closely this year. But switching gears, we wanted to check in on the safe stay communities in Vancouver. How are some of these rest sites going? Are there plans to expand?
Oh, yes. And we're so excited. Living Hope Village had their 1-year anniversary, very successful. This is our second safe stay in the city of Vancouver. And we had ice cream and cake and balloons and all sorts of folks come to check it out and see how successful it is. Our third one is in a totally different area, different design. And because the first two had opportunities for toilets and showers, we have to plumb for this third one. So we had to go out for a request for proposals. That's delaying it. But we'll have it up and ready to go, and our fourth one by this summertime. So we're pretty excited, but at Hope Village, we have people employed. They are getting their lives back together, and we don't want them to stay there. This is just a step in that path to housing. So that employment is helping them tremendously. Plus, they're moving up and out into brick and mortar houses and not these little 8x8 pallets.
Yeah, Mayor, we've only got about 30 seconds left, but we did want to ask you about the Southwest Washington Public Safety Training Academy that's in the works. When is that going to come up, and how do you think this will help solve your staffing shortages in public safety?
You're right. No one wants to leave their family for 5 months to go to training up in Burien, north of Seattle. So they'll be able to go to school at Clark College, and that's where the chief and the sheriff are having their classes. Then they'll be able to go home at night. They'll go to your PIR to do all of their driving, and then their firearm certification in East Vancouver. So we're very excited and hope to get this going as soon as possible, and the governor signs that check.
Okay, we'll be sure to check back in with you when it happens. Vancouver Mayor Anne McEnerny-Ogle, thanks for joining us this morning. Good to talk with you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. And to stay up to date on what's happening in communities across our area, you can always check out our previous Mayor Monday segments. Go to KOIN.com, click on the AM Extra tab.